I think I mentioned to you I'm an internal family systems therapist, and IFS does a really good job giving a good structure or mechanism to kind of have this kind of discussion of who am I? And this idea of having sub-personalities, different parts of me, the question, who is Joe? If I were to pause and just get a sense of like the experience of myself, I often feel like there's a me, the me behind my eyes. And there's almost like a location of sensing, oh, the me is up here somewhere. And I think everyone experiences themselves in different ways, but that can be a useful thing to notice of like, where are you inside yourself? Where are you looking from? Where are you perceiving from? How are you responding to things? And so for me, a starting point of there's an identity of myself that lives behind my eyes, what I feel is like my set point, my baseline perception of myself. But I can move that locus of attention to other places. I can go into my body and sense and feel that I'm actually looking and feeling from my heart. And then, well, what happened to the guy behind my eyes, So it can be an interesting exploration to start to consider that we're multiplicitous beings. We have different identities or parts of ourselves, aspects of ourselves that have filters and ways of engaging with each other and ourselves. So cognitive filters, emotional filters, body sensory kind of filters. Those are all me, but it can be interesting to start to track, what do I attach my identity to? Am I the one that's thinking? Am I the one that's feeling? Am I the one that, when I'm moving and dancing and expressing myself is just like pure energy? So IFS would say, yes, you are all those things. And as you investigate these different parts of you, and almost like a mindfulness practice where you start to kind of pause and notice, who is this? What do you want to tell me? What do you have these kind of inner dialogues? Behind all these kind of structures of identity is a more calm, open, present, capital S self, your higher self. So to answer your question, I would say who I am is like a multiplicitous being. I have various aspects of myself that I've really tried to dive into and understand better as filters. And I can do a bit of an exercise where I see myself as these separate pieces. But my intention more these days is I'm really wanting to kind of see myself as an integrated being of kind of multiplicitous aspects. And there's kind of this deeper capital S self, higher consciousness, awareness, me, that's functioning in the world through all these different filters of me. So I don't know, that's kind of a long drawn out answer, but I guess that's how I would answer who am I, that question.
Yeah, I like that. I've learned some about IFS, and so I know this conception of the parts and kind of organizing things in that way. But I like this thought of like filtering the real you who's behind all of this like open awareness.
Yeah.
Filtering that through these different parts.
Yeah.
I hadn't considered it in that way before, but that feels right.
Yeah, in my work with people, it does kind of feel like you're making your way behind something. And I have some friends in Austin that we have these conversations quite a bit where we're always talking about, well, what's behind all that? And the me that's behind all that. As you notice these different belief structures, ways I've identified myself as wounded, or parts of me that want to make myself better, parts that are a bit reactive, triggered, parts that are overanalyzing and overthinking all the time, parts that are vulnerable and perhaps carry some energy of fear or a lack of trust. Yeah, these are all different dimensions of me that IFS offers this process where you can kind of try to slow all that down and come into relationship with these different parts of you and speak to them as if they have their own identity. So speaking to that wounded child, or speaking to my overanalyzing mind, or speaking to my nervous system that seems to be kind of like in an agitated or fearful state. And there's this way I can be in relationship to these dimensions of me from this deeper awareness, the thing that's behind all that. So yeah, IFS as a model and a structure to kind of navigate all these things has been really useful for me.
So to jump back to suffering.
Yep.
I'm curious about your attitude towards suffering. Is it something that I should strive to overcome or avoid or not suffer, or do you think it serves some valuable purpose?
So I think a certain level of suffering is necessary and part of the design of this experience that we're all in. I certainly don't deeply understand why everything is the way it is. I've done a number of medicine journeys, and there's been times when I ask God, why? Why is it this way? If the whole point is to be in unity, then why are we experiencing all this separateness and suffering? And I haven't quite gotten an answer yet. But to the point we were saying earlier, these kind of three-legged stool things, how much of this suffering is because you're resisting something?